So let's continue on with another example. So we have 3/4 C equals 18. And so I took the liberty of writing the equation again on the next line. Now I need to think about where my variable is. Well, it's right here, C, and the coefficient that's in front of it is 3/4. So to get rid of that 3/4, I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal or multiplicative inverse of 3/4. Notice I'm using a color. It'd be a good time for you to use your colored pencil because it stands out that you've done the same thing to both sides and kept your equation balanced. So I'm going to go down to my next line, and on my next line, I know that 4/3 times 3/4, two reciprocals that you multiply together will give you 1, which is what I want, and I still have my C. The other side, I'm going to pop that right into my calculator using my fraction button, 18 times 4 fraction button 3, and you should get 24. So I'm going to put my 24 here, continuing straight down with my equal signs in a straight line. 1 times C is C, and then I'll just carry my 24 down. Going to the next problem. Negative 1/5 m equals negative 6/25. I'm going to now find that variable. Here is the coefficient. I'm wrapping it in parentheses because it's negative. So now I need to think about what is that coefficient. It's negative 1/5. The multiplicative inverse is negative 5/1. Remember, it's a reciprocal. You need to flip it, and whatever the sign is, needs to be a matching sign on the reciprocal. We always need for it to be a positive 1 when it's multiplied. Positive 1. That's how we know we have a reciprocal. Positive 1. I'm going to go back up to the other side here. Put my multiplicative inverse in there as well. So notice, same thing on both sides. Matching. That's what we want. Then I'm going to pop that into my calculator using multiplication and my fraction button. And I end up with negative 6/5. Continuing down through my problem, positive 1 times m is m. Negative 6/5 is top heavy. Top heavy. So I'm going to change that to a mixed number right now. 5 goes into 6 one time, remainder of 1, and I put it over that denominator. Mixed number. So again, the trick here is knowing what that reciprocal is up on the first line. Let's go to the next example. 1/2 C, negative 1/2 C equals 16 1/2. This is a little tricky because we have mixed numbers. So on my next line, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change these to be improper. So 2 times 1 plus 1 is 3/2 C, and it was negative. And on the other side, 2 times 16 plus 1 is 33/2. Now I'm ready to use my reciprocal. So I find my variable. Sorry, this is a little sloppy. That's my coefficient. The reciprocal of that I'm going to put on both sides. Good idea to use your highlighter or your colored pencil here. The reciprocal has to be negative. And we're going to flip it. Same thing on the other side. Negative 2/3. Remember, these need to match. This is pretty tricky. Bring your equal sign down. And we've got C, and these guys, the negative 2/3 and the negative 3/2, that's positive 1C. Remember, the reciprocals if you have a positive 1. We're going to put this into our calculator on the other side, right into our calculator, and you're going to get a negative 11. You need one more line where C is equal to negative 11 because positive 1 times C is C. Please go back to your Google Classroom